But today, a full-time worker making the minimum wage earns $14,500 a year. A family with 2 kids that earns the minimum wage still lives below the poverty line. That's wrong. Let's declare that in the wealthiest nation on earth, no one who works full-time should have to live in poverty, and raise the federal minimum wage.
Today, the lives of more than 35 million workers around the United States are negatively impacted by the minimum wage pay in their respective states. Of these 35 million individuals, 27.7% have children, thus making it even more difficult to live an adequate life since there are more people to sustain in their household. All of these men and women are not being given a fair opportunity to live adequate lives because the minimum wage puts all of these individuals below the poverty line. And today, 14.5% of Americans are living below the poverty line. Not all people can afford to attend college and eventually get a better job, so it is not right to discriminate against these people by paying them an amount that cannot cover the cost of dozens of bills on top of personal needs such as food and clothing. Even individuals who graduate college are not guaranteed a job, so they too, at least, need to be able to live lives without having to worry about when their next meal will be following their school years. Everyone was created in God's image equally, and therefore should be given fair and equal opportunities to live normal lives in this great nation. No one should have to suffer or live below the poverty line. We should all have a chance to make progress, and today's minimum wage in many states hinders that progress. Furthermore, human dignity is not being upheld since people who cannot sustain themselves are thought less of than individuals with better paying jobs, which is frankly outrageous. I believe that in this case, natural law is being violated since equal opportunities in this very land of opportunity are not given to these 35 million Americans, and the ability to have an adequate life equally among others is something that is universally recognized and inherent, but obviously a lot of work still needs to be done in order to combat this issue. Moreover, I believe this act of not having a fair minimum wage is sinful to some extent. The moral object in this case would be not treating others with fairness, and a possible intent for keeping wages so low is to use people for labor at the cheapest cost possible, since people with more power know that people need to work despite what the salary may be. The circumstance of the situation is occurring everywhere throughout the United States and is affecting millions of people's lives every day. I believe this to be a venial sin, since today there are changes being advocated for and made to better the situation, but when no change is even occurring, this is considered a sin of omission because there's no action being taken by anyone to better an unjust situation. The Catholic Church's stance on federal minimum wage is to change it since it does not promote family stability. Catholic bishops in the United States have long supported increases in federal minimum wage to ensure that no full-time worker and their family lived in poverty. Two vices that are present in this situation include unfairness and indifference toward the millions of workers, and virtues that are needed to better the situation are compromise and equality. To best remedy this income inequality across the United States is to push for a bill calling for the raising of minimum wage across all of the states, such as the Raise the Wage Act proposed by Senator Murray and Representative Scott, which would gradually raise the minimum wage every year up to the year 2020, and New York's plan of passing a new law to raise the minimum wage up to $15 by the year 2018. Locally, there aren't any formal organizations fighting this injustice. However, individuals all around the state and country are pushing for great progress and change. If individuals keep fighting for themselves and others against this injustice, eventually change will be reached and income inequality will slowly fade away.